What's going on, guys? It's Chad. Back here on some more XDefiant. Dude, there's an MMA event. It's been going like this for the past like 3 or 4 weeks at this point already. There's an MMA event every single weekend for like the next multiple months. One of those cards looks super stacked. What was that? I think it's UFC 292. One events, Bellator, PFL. I changed some settings around. Oh, also, my controller is kind of a mess at the moment. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but you can see how there's like weird looking shit sitting here. Yeah, basically, I had to super glue my stick into my controller. So with this controller that I'm currently using, like the stick comes out and you can like plug it in and out. Not the entire thing though. So basically this top controller part, it's like a hexagon or an octagon or something that's holding this piece in, and it fits in really nice and snug. The thing is, the side here ended up breaking. You can see it's like kind of chipped like that. This side broke off, so this wouldn't sit inside of the controller anymore. I had the bright idea to go and grab some super glue. We got a bunch of like art supplies and shit too. So put all the super glue like right in the middle and then squished it down and then just waited for it. Because this part broke off completely, it's back on there, but I tried to surgically put it back on with some tweezers with the super glue. All right, I got new controllers coming, don't worry, but still. So today, finally, the XDefiant beta is completely open for everybody. Yesterday was like the early access for people that played it previously, but now it's open. Everybody can just go and join. It's free to play. Download it on your console, PC, whatever. I've been seeing some people ask about the progression in this game. The game does have an entire progression system. Some people are like saying things like, dude, there's nothing to unlock. What's the grind for in this game? It's literally the same grind that Call of Duty has had for years. They're saying things like, I don't see the long form like entertainment in it. It's like, well, yeah, because it's not the entire game. And the progression system literally isn't here. Progression consists of literally leveling up your weapons, unlocking all the shit, getting your camos, literally Call of Duty. It's like the base progression in like all arcade FPS games. There's no, oh, I was gonna say, there's no way you're missing me. I'm not even doing anything crazy. So don't worry, that feeling of progression will absolutely be there. You got a taste of the progression if you ended up playing any of the previous tests, because it was enabled. And that's not even the entire progression. It feels so much better once I got the movement back down again. Now, yeah, there might be a little bit of a difference in the movement from what it was before. I'm not entirely sure though. I can't really figure out what it is, but got the feeling back down for it, and it feels incredible. Pretty much feels like how it was before. Just think I'm maybe sliding a little shorter or something. I can't really tell. Maybe there's more fatigue, but I never really like did a whole bunch of like hopping like 20 times in a row kind of thing. It was only like a few times at a time, so I didn't necessarily know the full extent of how much you can actually hop around and shit. And another thing, there's a lot of people that are worried about like the skill gap in this game. Number one, there's no skill-based matchmaking, and that scares some people because they're afraid they're gonna get into lobbies with like absolute demons instead of having a skill-based matchmaking system where they get into a game, and if they're not so good, they'll play against other people that aren't so good. There are playlists for players that are new, like under a certain level or whatever, but then you just have no skill-based matchmaking for all the regular matchmaking, and then you do have skill-based matchmaking for rank. That, in my opinion, is the best way to go about it. Another thing as well, because skill-based matchmaking is like not relevant in public matches, if you get into a lobby filled with people that are beating your ass, you could just straight up leave and join a new one, and you're not guaranteed to get locked into yet again another game where everyone is just way better than you or is just sweating their asses off. Yeah, see, like this lobby is 10 times easier than the last lobby I was in just because no skill-based matchmaking. Oh no. So in terms of progression, anyone that's like concerned about progression, it's literally the same thing as Call of Duty. I'm sure they'll put like an entire actual like mastery camo because they have all the gold and shit like that for all the weapons. It's like get your weapon to like level 100. They'll have challenges and shit like that too, I'm assuming. With the previous progression, it was just get the weapon to like level 100, but it was a grind. So whenever you saw somebody running around with some of the camos, you're like, oh shit, that dude's used it a lot. Literally just classic shit. Oh man, Call of Duty's gonna feel so bad once this beta's done. I mean, the game will be out within a couple months, I assume, from this point. I mean, I don't know why you're still standing there so confident. It's just a silly thing to do.
We're taking zone B. The enemy holds on the zone. Zone contested.
Dude, this guy has been watching me this entire time. Get off my dick. Like, I sat there behind that thing because I saw the glint, and he stood there the entire time. Are you insane? It's always so odd when people talk about, like, progression and stuff like that and say how they don't see the progression while they literally main a game that has no progression, or at least literally the same progression. How did you play Warzone for years and then talk about progression? There was no ranked, there was nothing to represent how good you were in the game other than sitting there trying to post world records. There was no representation whatsoever on top of a bunch of skill-based matchmaking that made everything insanely unclear, riddled with hackers and all sorts of other shit. How did you measure any kind of progression? Leveling up, right? Doing challenges, right? It's the same shit. Another thing that people don't talk about enough on this game is the maps. The fact that they're able to turn like landmarks in their other games into maps is actually crazy. I figured the movement back out again. I think I just forgot, and maybe not that much is different. I don't know what they did or didn't change, so I have no confirmation. The only reference I have now is like watching my own videos back to try to remember. I love the colors on this game. I just don't get bored of like looking at this game. Like, I play a lot of Diablo, don't get me wrong, and I'm still playing it. But man, I swear everything in Diablo, like, no offense to all the Diablo players, listen, I'm one of you. Dude, every single fucking dungeon and area on this map, and everything looks the same. Now, I get it, it's literally hell. I'm not even asking for like a nice looking area, but straight up everything looks the same. There's so many times where I straight up forget that I'm even in a nightmare dungeon. It's that bad. Like, I cannot tell the difference between a dungeon and the actual outside world. Obviously, there's like a level difference and a power difference there, and obviously there are differences, but there are so many times where I realize like, oh wait, I am in a dungeon right now. Everything just looks the same. It all meshes together. The AK is literally the all-purpose weapon. I mean, the only thing you gotta worry about is recoil. I mean, that ultimate is disgusting. Gave nerfs to Libertad, but it's still strong. Okay, yeah, no, that sticky grenade is still messed up. Hey, you guys fix the physics over on the frag grenades. They seem okay, definitely more consistent, but those sticky grenades are not consistent. Now, maybe they're like trying to have the effect of them having like a different weight or something. I straight up threw that thing and it grew wings. I have no idea what happened. Also, is it possible to maybe see some kind of like visual indicator of like where my grenade is? Not where it'll land or something like that. I mean, like, I can't even see where my grenade is going after I throw it, I swear. It straight up disappears sometimes, I swear. Dude, we're losing every game, but like, I'm not even noticing. It is what it is. Wait, they're giving me XP by thumbing me up. Wait, how do I do that? Wait, you get extra XP for people thumbing you. Cool. I'm pretty sure that's new. I don't remember that in the other test at all. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll show some people my classes since so many people have been asking about it. I obviously do not have the greatest movement or whatever, but this is a class setup that I'm using for the MP7. It doesn't have any range, so just know that SMGs on this game do not have range. It's not like Call of Duty where you can put some attachments on it to help with the range, but it's just not going to be ARs at AR range. SMGs tend to shred a lot of ARs close range. They fit their roles very, very well. The lightweight barrel, we want the movement speed mostly. Don't worry about. Now that also hurts our range, but the movement is super big. This is just for a movement class. You don't need to have this kind of shit on here, but this is just what I run. Lightweight here. We also want to use super light here for more movement speed. Use fast mag just to get more ammo reload faster so we can keep, you know, moving faster. Quick draw, I change this around sometimes. You can mess around with it however you want, but really, really snappy, and the sprint to fire feels nice, so. And then I also was having a problem where I was running around with the remove stock. Forget the remove stock. Collapsed is way, way better. You get more movement speed, and I swear the recoil isn't nearly as terrible as the remove stock. And that actually seems to be the case for a lot of the weapons. So like the P90 here, this one doesn't have a stock or anything, but again, lightweight, super light. Use reflex, fast mag, quick draw. You're starting to see, you know, a common thing. This is my AK class, probably my favorite in the game at the moment. Lightweight barrel here. We use a pistol grip here. You could use some of this stuff for the recoil or whatever, but the first few shots that come out of your weapon are pretty decently controllable, and you should be able to kill them if you have a decent shot. If not, you can, you know, run something else. Not a huge deal, but I prefer to get that sprint to fire. I use the reflex because the iron sights for the AK are just brutal in general. I just feel like the reflex gives me better, but you can just run nothing. Again, movement is just really, really powerful on this game if you know how to use it. Now, you don't need to absolutely play the game a little bit slower and really frustrate people. You really can. Now, obviously, when somebody gets ran over by somebody hopping around and shit like that, they're like, how am I even gonna do that? This game, it's literally as simple as slide, jump, slide, jump, slide, jump. Like, actually slide, jump over and over and over again. Now, it changes, I guess, a little bit depending on if you have like auto attack sprint and stuff. I don't personally. I don't like auto attack sprint. I don't use it in Call of Duty either, or auto sprint in this game because there's no tack, but I don't use a rear grip on here. It's just my thing. Again, fast mags, you still notice that same, you know, thing. And the folded stock. The folded stock is so superior to the removed, it's not even fun. More movement speed, and the recoil isn't hurt nearly as bad, it seems, anyway. Sniper rifle, I haven't used it much so far. Muzzle booster, lightweight. You can change the sniper scope. I change it between, you know, the 8x and the 12x. I use the 8x for a while, and it's not bad at all. Quick draw, obviously, for more ADS speed. I use padded mostly just for the stability, but you don't really need to have anything here. I think the majority of these will just make everything feel worse, so either go padded or nothing. You could probably take this off, put on a different magazine. For people worried about, like, seeing all this movement will scare people away, I get what you're saying, absolutely, but it didn't scare them away on Warzone, and it didn't scare them away in multiplayer. They're still playing the game and still running into these players. There's no perfect, you know, matchmaking type of system out there, even if it is skill-based or if it isn't. There's still all these little, like, nuanced tweaks in between of, like, how skill-based is it? How not skill-based is it? So the majority of the speed and stuff that you guys are seeing isn't even, like, people using tech to go that fast. The majority of it is literally just base movement speed. You can just slide hop around corners. Really simple stuff, basic movement, and you can hit it whatever you want. Slide hop, slide hop, slide hop. You can slide around a corner and bunny hop. Now, there are penalties for this. Don't think that there's no penalties for this. It'll make your aim go crazy. Here, look. Look at that. I'm not even touching the stick, and you see that, like, wave? It's almost as if your character lost breath. How when you ran out of breath, if you were holding your breath with, like, a sniper rifle or something like that. It has the same penalty there. So this is purposeful. This movement is all purposeful. There's fatigue and everything, but none of the movement is difficult. So the shit that you're seeing is really not that crazy. It's just their build and, like, maybe, like, a high sensitivity. So when you see me doing this, I'm literally just, like, doing the slide hopping, like, all at once. I'm gonna slide, jump, and then right when I hit the ground, I'm gonna just start sprinting again, hit the slide again, jump. Yeah, so XDefiant has been super fun. I might try to snipe a little bit more today and see if, you know, anything feels different or has changed. My sensitivity on this game is kind of different now because I've turned my sensitivity up a bit higher than what I originally had it, even in, like, the last time that I was playing, because some of the movement that people hit, because the aim assist isn't disgustingly strong on this game, I need to have a decently high enough, you know, sensitivity if the person tries to camera the shit out of me. It's the same Call of Duty shit, to be honest. Just have it slightly high enough to be able to, you know, track at least. Yeah, it's open to everybody, free to play, console, PC, all that stuff. I think 120 hertz support, getting like 500 in the menu or whatever. I don't even have like overclocks and stuff, but yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the video yesterday as well for XDefiant. Thank you so much for all the love in general on all the videos recently, and yeah, it's been Jeff, guys. Later.